11. Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball lights the fuse and skyrockets into the fray. A heavy-duty firearm hits the target and avoids the backfire. A long-range missile ignites off the booming deck of an invading destroyer. A field general's crack troops get gunned down by a dose of double dynamite. A new weapon in a restocked arsenal unloads an accurate round of ammunition. A cluster bomb explodes with unexpected force in a surprise attack. An old warrior detonates a blast from the past, a shot heard round the world. And watch the mighty fall on This Week in Baseball. Brought to you by Old Spice Aftershave and Cologne. Splash on the feeling. Splash on Old Spice. American League beauty. At the Metrodome, Minnesota fans sounded off and Baltimore came calling for 3 games against the Twins. Utility man Mickey Hatcher utilized his bat in a big way, going 7 for 14 and producing 6 RBIs in the series, hoping to convince manager Billy Gardner that Hatcher should be a regular.
I always sit there. I try to be a manager on the bench. I go over there and sit and think about all the situations where I might get an opportunity to come in the game so that I'm ready. You know, it might be in the 1st, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, but I'm sitting there and I think up the situations where I might be able to be used. And if I don't be used, then I go to the next inning and try again. And I try to get eye contact with Billy, you know, letting him know that I want to get in the game, you know, in certain situations. But it helps me keep motivated and it helps me keep ready.
Rookie second baseman Tim Tuffle was more than ready. He connected with 7 hits and 11 at-bats and drove in 3 runs. Tuffle also got a game-winning RBI on his first home run of the season. Kent Herbeck accounted for the other 2 game winners, batting 6 for 13 with 5 RBIs and a home run. Now in his 3rd season, 23-year-old Herbeck has emerged as Minnesota's main man at the plate.
I go up there and just look strictly for the baseball. Try to get everything else out of my mind when I get into the box. And when I'm on deck, I think about things about what the pitcher might be throwing me or how he's trying to set me up. And then when I get to the plate, I strictly look for the baseball. I don't try to guess for pitches. I'm up there strictly looking baseball and swinging. I think that's why I'm a spray hitter and hit the ball over the ballpark, because I'm strictly looking for pitches to hit.
The Twins saw plenty of those, blasting 40 hits in the series and scoring 29 runs. Everything appeared to be bouncing Minnesota's way. And Oriole manager Joe Altobelli showed his frustration at Baltimore's 0-4 start as the slap-happy Twins took all 3 games. The Seattle Mariners had been getting no respect, but after setting their sights on visiting Milwaukee for 3 games, the Mariners earned a stadium full. Jack Perconti perked up Seattle from the leadoff spot. He went 5 for 10 in the series with 3 runs batted in. He also scored 4 times. Catcher Bob Kearney was acquired from Oakland, and his new bat paid dividends against the Brewers. In one game, Kearney went 3 for 4 and drove home the game winner. Manager Del Crandall also liked the look of Matt Young, who got his first win in his first start. You may recall the 25-year-old Young as a rookie last season, who became the staff ace with a team-leading 11 wins and an all-star appearance. Vandenberg appeared in all 3 games and saved 2 as Seattle swept the Brewers, who got off on the wrong foot, while the Mariners bounced to the top of the West with a 5-1 start. In Chicago, the hot hands were held by Detroit as Tiger pitchers cited all the right signs. Milt Wilcox was the one in Game 1, getting win number 1 by going 7 innings and giving up just 4 hits. Dave Bergman was obtained from San Francisco primarily for defense, but his offense accounted for 2 runs in the first inning. Willie Hernandez pitched the last 2 innings to earn his first American League save. The former Cub and Philly gave up a run, but the Tigers still took the ball game 3-2. Jack Morris was Detroit's mound master in Game 2, unraveling the Sox with a no-hitter, the first in the majors this season. Chet Lemon soured Chicago in the 2nd inning with a game-winning hit. Going, and it is gone. And the Tigers trotted off with a 4-0 triumph. Sparky Anderson was sensing a sweep, and in the finale, rookie Barbaro Garbey showed the way. 2 doubles, 3 runs batted in, and a run scored in 3 at-bats for Garbey, and the Tigers were pacing toward a 7-3 win. Aurelio Lopez came on in the 4th and struck out 4 in 4 innings to collect his first win in '84. Senor Smoke surrendered just 1 hit. Kirk Gibson went 3 for 7 in the series and blasted his 2nd home run of the season in Game 3. The Tiger attack spoiled the American League debut of loser Tom Seaver as Detroit ran off with the best start in the majors at 6-0. Also in the series, Sox manager Tony La Russa put lefty Mike Squires at 3rd, and he came through. He played 3rd once last year, but before him, the last lefty to do it was Joe Kuehl in 1 game with the Washington Senators in 1936. Now it's time for this week's Volkswagen quiz, brought to you by the 1984 models. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. Manager Sparky Anderson, now in his 6th year with Detroit, holds the highest winning percentage among active big league skippers at .576. Sparky also managed the Cincinnati Reds for 9 years, guiding them to 4 pennants and consecutive world championships in 1975 and 76. For this week's quiz, which Major League skipper compiled the highest all-time winning percentage? Stay tuned for a manager called Mars. National League Fountain of Youth, playing at the Astrodome, the Kitty Corps from New York, growing up under new manager Davy Johnson, the league's youngest skipper at 41. The Mets also feature Jose Oquendo, the league's youngest shortstop, a 20-year-old fielding phenom, O.K. Oquendo. And the pitching staff is as young as they come. 25-year-old Walt Terrell tore up the Astros in the opener on a complete Game 4 hitter for his first victory. George Foster, the senior starter on the team at 35, led the way on offense with his first home run of the year. Foster went 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs, and the Mets made it look easy, 8-1. Dwight Gooden is the league's youngest pitcher at 19, but in Game 2, he showed the precision of a veteran to complement an abundance of pure power. Gooden struck out 5 in 5 innings to win his big league debut with his parents looking on. 22-year-old Darryl Strawberry is blossoming as the team's offensive catalyst. He got the game winner with his second home run of the year in a 3-2 triumph. In Game 3, it was 25-year-old Tim Leary's turn to take home a win with some sweet stuff of his own. 26-year-old Doug Sisk picked up his first save, and the fresh-faced Mets swept Houston in the Astrodome for the first time since 1966 to grab the early lead in the East. On to Los Angeles and another visiting team sweep. This one by Chuck Tanner's Pittsburgh Pirates, who pounded out 31 hits in the 3 games. On Dodger pitching for a .429 average, including 2 doubles and a game-winning hit. Lee Lacy played only in the finale, but in his first start of the season, Lacy let loose with a 4-for-4 perfect performance that drove in 3 runs. Dodger pitchers are known for tricky ball control, but in Game 1, John Tudor had the magic. 6 2/3 no-hit innings, and National League win #1 for the former Boston Red Sox hurler. Rick Rhoden was rocking in Game 3, shutting down his former teammates to square his record at 1-1. Cecilio Guante provided the Pirates with all the relief help they needed, striking out 3 over 3 innings of work and collecting 2 saves in the series as Pittsburgh looked tough. Down the coast in San Diego, the Padres hit the ground running and raced off on a winning beat. 4 straight victories before their first loss as they popped out on top in the West. Manager Dick Williams had been seeking a stronger bench, so he got Champ Summers from San Francisco. Summers pinch hit against Chicago with the score tied in the bottom of the 9th, and he delivered the game winner. Rookie Carmelo Martinez got into the swing, hitting .357 over the 4 wins and going 3 for 4 in a game against the Cubs. Newcomer Kevin McReynolds was even better, a .466 average during the win streak. And in one game against Chicago, Big Mac went 3 for 4 with 4 runs batted in.
If we can build a program up with players maybe as young as myself or even a couple of years older, we should have a contending team for 5 or 6 years at least. If we can get the players in there with the older players who know what we can do.
Everybody knows what Goose Gossage can do, and that's save games. He did it twice during San Diego's good start, helping the Padres to feel mighty fine. Philadelphia's Juan Samuel is also feeling well. The 22-year-old rookie second baseman hit .346 in his first 6 games. And Samuel was even more impressive on the bases. 7 steals in those 6 games, 3 of them in 1 game. It was 10 years ago that Henry Aaron hit a home run for the ages. Against Los Angeles on April 8, 1974 in Atlanta, Aaron hammered career home run number 715 to break Babe Ruth's record. On the 10th anniversary of that historic occasion, the scene was reenacted, with Al Downing once again on the mound. The ball fell close to where number 715 had landed, but it took 9 swings this time by the 49-year-old director of player development for the Braves. And now, let's develop the answer to this week's Volkswagen quiz. Joe McCarthy has the all-time highest winning percentage among managers. In 24 years with the Chicago Cubs, New York Yankees, and Boston Red Sox, the man called Marsh Joe compiled a winning percentage of .614. He led the Yankees to 8 pennants and 7 world championships in 16 of those seasons, from 1931 through 1946. And in 1957, the Hall of Fame doors opened to receive Joe McCarthy.
Now you owe me $4.
Baseball is a blast when the circus comes to town. But then sometimes the circus starts in mid-game. Hey, man, quit the clowning. This is serious business. Lively ball, lively head. Now there's a nifty trick. Bubbles instead of bobbles. Here it comes. Ball, uh-oh, bubble one. Sure-handed performer. Oops. Okay, everybody, take a bow. And now let's formally usher in some gorgeous glove work. Stand tall, one and all. Up at first, Pittsburgh, Jason Thompson. George Wright, Texas. Dale Murphy, Atlanta Braves. Mike Davis, Oakland. Detroit Tiger, Alan Trammell. The A's, Carney Lansford. Gary Pettis, California. Houston's Phil Garner. Seattle's Gorman Thomas. Kenny Landreau, Los Angeles Dodgers. Angel Salazar, Montreal. Mookie Wilson, New York Mets. Ranger rookie, Curtis Wilkerson. Cleveland's Brett Butler. San Diego's Luis Salazar. And the Mets' Keith Hernandez. Los Angeles will be the site of baseball history this summer. A 6-team Olympic tournament will test baseball as a demonstration sport for consideration as a permanent event. At the Olympics, USC coach Rod Dato's United States team will take on South Korea, the defending world champions. And Italy, the European champions. And Taiwan, home of world-class Little League teams. And strong clubs from Cuba and Nicaragua. The U.S. team will prepare with a 7-week training tour covering 33 cities and playing in big league ballparks. The player selection process is underway now. Let's listen to team representative and Hall of Famer Robin Roberts.
It's now down to the point where these are the best, and they'll end up with the 20 best in the country, and they'll have a shot at beating any of these countries.
The goal, to bring home baseball's first Olympic gold. Now it's time for the Big Stick Player of the Week Award. brought to you by new improved Old Spice stick deodorant and antiperspirant. This week's winner is Detroit pitcher Jack Morris, who stuck it to the White Sox in Chicago by tossing the first no-hitter of the young season in a 4-0 victory, striking out 8 along the way. The Cat won 20 games last season, and with his no-hitter, Morris was off to a 2-0 start this year. The closest the Sox came to a hit was in the first inning, when leadoff man Rudy Law's deep drive was snared by Kirk Gibson. But a key play occurred in the third.
Toughest play of the game was a ball hit back to me by Lazinski. I told everybody that's the turning play of the ball game. I wasn't thinking no-hitter or nothing at the time, just trying to get out of a jam. I got bases loaded, nobody out, and I needed an out bad.
He needed another in the 8th, and defensive replacement Dave Bergman tossed it to him. It was the first no-hitter by a Tiger since Jim Bunnings in 1958, and the second against the Sox in 7 games, because Oakland's Mike Warren no-hit Chicago last September. With 1 out to go, Morris received supporting cheers from Chicago fans, who saw Ron Kittle strike out for the finish. Time for Tiger Tumult for jumping Jack Morris.
I felt good. I think I've had better fastballs. I think I've had better sliders than today, but I felt pretty strong the whole day, and I had a good breaking ball.
Congratulations, Big Jack. And that's all for now, folks. Hope to see you next week on This Week in Baseball.